Hello everyone, welcome to the Trend Investor channel. Today we're going to discuss a very important topic which is very close to my heart, which is channels. Channels are one of the most important tools that I use every day for my investing and trading decisions. And channels, if used properly, you can catch multi-baggers as well if you know how to draw them on weekly and monthly charts, and if you know what points to buy and what points to sell. So in this video, we're going to discuss how to draw channels, how to trade them, how to buy, how to sell, and some other points that you need to be aware of when you draw a channel. So let's get started. So by channel, this is what I mean by a channel. A channel is nothing but two set of lines where the price goes up within the channel and the price tends to keep going higher and higher until the price finally comes out of the channel or breaks the channel. So first I'm going to show you how to draw the channel itself on TradingView using which tools in TradingView and how to draw them on TradingView, and then we will look at some examples and how you can apply channels on those examples. Okay, so I have TradingView open in front of me, and if you have TradingView open as well, what you have to do is you have to go here and click on this. You'll see two lines over here, or one line depending on what you have as most favorite tool. But if you click on the very first section over here, you'll find a lot of different things over here. So you have lines, which is the normal lines that you use, and then you have channels. Now here we will be selecting the parallel channel. Now here this itself indicates that you'll have two lines drawn in a parallel channel, right? So you click on this and then you have to draw a channel, right? Now here when you draw a channel, you have to look at the price points. Now in any stock, if you look at, you will have points which are the highest points and points which are the lowest points. Now it takes some time for you to kind of get used to drawing channels, but as a simple rule, what you have to do is take the lowest point over here and just drag this and try to connect this channel to as many points as possible. Now in this case, if you see, I'm connecting here 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? 4 points, and then I'm dragging this towards this side, right? And here I'm trying to connect it to as many points as possible. And then once you connect these two, you have a channel in place. Now, there are three important things to the channel. One is the support, right? Channel support. Now, channel support is nothing but the points from where the price has reversed. Now, in case you don't know which points to connect, take a simple rule. Now, in this entire move up, take the highest and the lowest point. This entire move up, take the highest, lowest, and the same thing here and the same thing here, right? And then you connect the lowest points, then you drag it to this point over here. Now, some people might draw it like this, basically connect this point, and this point. It's totally fine, but I prefer to always connect the topmost points so that you have a perfect channel. Now, a channel doesn't have to be just two single lines. You can also drag this, and plot it like a zone. So I'm just dragging it there, and I'm just dragging this also inside, right? So a channel can also be a zone. So basically what I did is I drew two channels here, and I marked the zones from where the price reversed multiple times, right? So this is one zone here, one zone, and here you have the lower part of the zone. So that's the channel support, the channel resistance, and then you have a very important point, which is the channel middle. The channel middle, if you see, the price came here and reversed, it again came here and reversed, and then it came down, then it reversed here a little bit, and then finally it reversed here as well. So the three important tools for you to note is the channel support, resistance, and the middle of the channel. So these three things are very important. We will discuss as to how significant can these react to prices shortly, but these are the three important things you have to note. So let's move on with examples now. Okay, so there are some rules which I will describe, and then we'll move on to some examples. Now this strategy can be an excellent strategy for investing. I will teach you how, especially on the monthly time frame, right? So if you want to catch multi-baggers, this is probably one of the best ways to catch multi-baggers. Not many people discuss channels, but this is a wonderful tool to catch multi-baggers. So as I said, channel has an upper channel, lower channel, and a middle channel. And there's a rising channel, which is basically what I showed you just now. And there is also a falling channel, which is basically downtrend. The opposite of a rising channel is a downtrend, right? Or a falling channel. Now you need at least two touch points on both sides, right? So in the support and the resistance, you need at least two touch points. I'll show you some examples, and the price should reverse from these channel levels, right? Like I showed you in the case of Venki's. Now, also if the price has taken support or resistance around the middle of the channel, that's a very good validation of the channel itself. Now in Venki's, I just showed you the price reversed multiple times from the channel middle, right? That shows that that channel is a very valid channel and you can rely on that, okay? And the channel on the higher time frames are more reliable than lower time frames. Now, any indicator, any tool in technical analysis is more reliable on the higher time frames than on the lower time frames. So if you draw a channel on the 5 minutes time frame, it will probably last for a few hours or maybe for a few days maximum, but it will not last forever. But whereas a channel on the monthly time frame will last for multiple years, for probably many decades as well, right? Now, we're going to discuss some rules in the next slide. And unless those rules are satisfied, don't draw any random channels. I've seen a lot of random channels on social media. That's not how you draw random channels, right? That's not how you draw channels. So let's discuss those rules also. So how do you start drawing a channel? The first thing is you have to start from the side of the channel where there are more touch points, right? Now, in the case of Venki's, I started drawing the channel from this side, right? Because I saw multiple touch points here, and that's why I started drawing the channel, right? So always start drawing the channel from the side of the channel where there are more touch points. So look for areas where the price is reacting to resistance support. So in the case of Venki's, I was basically looking at this level over here and the price reacted multiple times at this level. So I drew the channel over here, right? It's okay sometimes when you have wicks below the channel, you just have to consider areas, right? So that's the second rule. So how do you buy at channel support? So whenever price comes to the lower part of the channel, that's when you buy, right? So how do you buy? We'll discuss this shortly, but basically you have to look for some signs, right? So you look for price fall slowing down your channel supports. Now, when I say price fall should be slowing down, now in the case of Venki's, if you see here, for example, the price came all the way down and then it started slowing here, right? So it started going sideways. So that's what I call by the price fall should start slowing down. It kept falling here, but then it started going sideways. Now, sideways move at a channel support is very good, and that shows that the sellers are probably getting over and buyers are coming in, right? So that's one of the rules. Then look for price reversals on weekly time frame. I'll discuss this shortly. So basically, what kind of signs we have to look for: bullish, weekly, or monthly candles, right? Or you have to have long lower wicks on weekly, monthly charts. Now, what do we mean by lower wicks, right? Now, for example, here, if you see around 2020 March, COVID crash, we had a long lower wick. Now, that's a sign of reversal. So basically, price went all the way down, but by the end of the month, the price closed back into that probably around the 70% of the candle, right? That shows that there was demand. Now, again, here, if you see, there were wicks. That's called a wick, right? A candle wick, right? A normal candle in your house, you have a wick thread on top, so that's a wick, right? Now, here also, you have a lot of wicks. Now, whenever I see a wick around channel support, now that shows that the price is probably reversing. And then, if the price forms a higher high on the daily time frame, which means the price is also reversing. Now, what do I mean by higher high? When the price comes like this and it goes like this and again goes higher. So that's a higher high. So basically, the price has kept going, making lower lows, and then the price starts crossing the previous high, which is a higher high, right? Now, that's also one of the ways. So that's how you buy a channel support. I'll show you with some examples shortly, but how do you sell a channel resistance? You have to apply the exact reverse, right? So whenever the price comes to a channel resistance, don't immediately sell off, okay? What you have to do is you have to wait and see what the price will do. But sometimes what can happen is the price can just shoot up and go and break the channel, which means the price will move even much faster and much higher, right? So you should never sell immediately channel resistance, since price can pierce channel and head higher as well if the story fundamentally is very good, right? So you have to look for long upper wicks on the weekly, monthly charts. So just like how we saw lower wicks here, in order to know when to buy, you also have to look for upper wicks on the channel support, channel resistance. Because when you see upper wicks like this, which means price is probably exhausting, the buyers are probably losing power, and sellers might start coming in, start selling the shares, and then you'll have falls like this. So be aware of long wicks on the upper end of the channel, right? And finally, trail stop at swing on daily charts. In case you're really worried, trail your stop loss and let's see what the price does. And always the first target is always going to be channel middle. So whenever price reverses from here, the first target is the middle of the channel and the next target is the upper end of the channel. So right now here, when Venki's reversed, the first channel target was here. And again, now it's reversing, the first target is over here. So around 5,000 rupees, right? So that's how you set your targets, right? Now, channel resistance, the second target, it takes usually multiple years before the price reaches here. Okay, so always be conservative, start with here, and then if the price crosses, then you can see if the price heads to the channel resistance as well. Now you can apply this strategy to any time frame. Okay, it's up to you. Let's say take some examples of some perfect rising channels. Now, as I said before, don't draw any random channel. The rule is you need to have at least 2 touch points on both sides, right? Now this is an example of small cap index. Now how do you have to draw the channel? You take your trend line channel, parallel channel tool, you connect this point, and this point, and then you drag it, and then you drag it to the other side and you connect these points. Now here, if you see, the price is not perfectly touching, that's totally fine. As I said, trend lines are a zone. It's not a single line, it's a zone. So you can draw another channel here to show that. I'm not drawn that, but this is a beautiful channel in the small cap index that we are seeing currently in the overall markets. And until this channel is holding, markets will tend to head higher. If the channel breaks, then probably that's the end of this bull market, and we might go into some consolidation for some time, right? So price rejected support, reversed from support here 2-3 times, and here also reversed here 1-2 times here, right? So 2-3 times over here, and this side, if you see, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 times. So that's a very, very valid channel support. So whenever price comes here, you can look at buying, and whenever price goes there, you can look at selling, right? It's up to you. This is another example of CNX metals. Now, one thing to note when drawing channels, at least on monthly charts, use log charts always, right? Now here, in case of CNX, I have not used log chart because sometimes price tends to also reverse from linear charts. So in log chart, it was a breakdown, but in a linear chart here, if you see, price reversed 1, 2, 3 and 4 times, right? So I remember sharing this chart somewhere around here when the price was reversing, when I saw this bullish reversal candle here and here. So that's what I said, whenever you see a reversal candle here with lower wicks, that's when the price is heading higher, right? So this is again a perfect channel here. And now the beauty of this channel is, whenever you look at the middle charts over here, the price has reversed, the price has reversed, the price is again reversed to come down, then it went up and came all the way down, right? Now, so we can expect now the price to break this and head higher, or reverse from here and consolidate, right? Now that's an example of metals. Now, channels can be applied on indexes, or even in stocks, futures, options. You can apply it anywhere. You just need to know the time frame that you're applying it onto, right? So be very conscious about that. So Venky's, I already discussed this. There's a beautiful channel in Venky's. So this is one of the stocks I've been tweeting on Twitter for quite some time. It has very good potential targets, but for now, it is just starting to move up. And if the results are good, then we can see much higher targets here. Okay. So this is another chart of KEC. Now again, one thing to note is, so if you look at this KEC chart, the price of 2018 went almost sideways, right? So we've been going sideways all the time. So when I connect to this point, and here, the first time, right, you see this beautiful reversal over here this month. That's when I shared the chart on Twitter. And here, if you connect this side, we have 3 beautiful points, and look at how the price has reversed from the channel middle, right? Now, whenever you see price reversing from the channel middle, that shows that this is a very, very valid chart, right? So it's simple. You just have to draw the channel from here and connect these 3 points, and then you drag it to the other side of the channel, right? So KEC for now, I'm expecting it to head towards the middle of the channel. I'm still holding this stock, and hopefully it'll head there. Next example, before that, so if you're new to my channel, there's a lot of learning videos like this. You can find my playlist, Learn with Trendline Investor. And if you're already watching my videos, share this video with your family and friends. And if you like my content, don't forget to buy me a coffee. You can support me by buying me a coffee. This link, and yeah, I'll appreciate your help over here. Okay, so let's move on. Next example is Tata Motors. Here again, if you see, beautiful channel 1, 2, 3. Now sometimes the price, as I said, will not completely touch. That's why it's a zone. So you can also draw a parallel channel over here just to see that zone is touching, right? And again, we had 3 touch points over here, and this is a beautiful channel. Now, as a homework, do check out Maruti and Ashok Leyland. It's exact channel setups which happened in the past. We have very good buy points over here, all provided beautiful entry points over here. So that's how you can look at channels. Now, usually in a bear market, stocks do tend to hit channel supports. Now, in a bear market, next time you see a stock hitting channel support, don't hesitate to buy it, right? Put some small amount of capital and see if it works, and then you can add more if you want. Okay. Next example is Electra. This is a recent example which traded like last week. There was a lot of noise on Twitter, but again, a beautiful channel. So for the first time, you notice this channel works is when here, right? So when the price reversed from here, that's the first time when actually this is a valid channel, because you had 2 touch points over here. And then next time when you draw this somewhere over here, that's when you realize this channel is actually forming, right? So Electra, right now, this is a beautiful channel. The price again rejected from here, and now this is a valid channel. So if you find price coming back towards the zone, it's probably a good entry point. Like you see, the price came here, formed a nice long lower wick, and the price reversed. So that's a very good example. Right, Zomato again is a beautiful channel on the daily charts. All the charts before were on weekly or monthly, but this is a beautiful chart on the daily charts. So trend change occurred here, and since then the price has been beautifully trending in this channel, right? So again, if you see here, the price couldn't cross. Once it crossed, it went high. Again, it consolidated all the way here. Again, it took resistance, came all the way here. So right now, Zomato is trading at the upper end of the channel. So at this point, I would not recommend buying Zomato. The point to buy Zomato is when it consolidates and comes sideways, or if it breaks out of this channel, right? So sometimes after breaking out, it can come all the way back in. So be careful. So the best points to buy stocks is on the channel support, right? Not after it reached this resistance. Okay, please note that. Page Industries, again, a beautiful example. Now, this is a slightly better example in terms of confluence of supports, right? So here, if you see, you drag this point and this point, and you see the price is reversing here. Now, sometimes this channel can be slightly wrong and you might have to adjust it because the price can go sideways like this. So you might have to adjust this channel towards this point. So this channel is still forming. So I would not call it a very valid channel because here I did not have a proper touch point, but here I had touch points. Now here, if you see, this wick is slightly below the channel, right? So it can be quite possible that this channel might have to be slightly adjusted over here. Okay, but the point to note here is this is a confluence of supports. This is a horizontal support and this is channel support. So it's most likely, even if the price breaks the channel, it's most likely the price will not fall, because once the price breaks channel and reverses, you just have to adjust the channel a little bit. Okay, so that's the example of Page Industries. So we have Vaibhav Global, again a beautiful example for investing. So if you want to invest in stocks like this is the best point to buy, right? So when the price is breaking out of this strong consolidation, the best point to buy investing stocks, because there's likely the stock is probably heading to 800 levels or even to the upper end of the channel in the next few years or so. So whenever you see a stock reversing like that, go ahead and buy for your investing portfolio especially, right? So next example is Agar Industries. Now this is slightly not a very perfect channel because of this huge space in between, but I expect this channel will hold because the price has now made a higher high here, and now we had 1, 2, 3 and the fourth touch point, right? On this side, not a perfect touch point. Now here, if you see, the touch point is not perfect, right? It's a zone. So this is probably a good channel to trade, but here I would have probably not buy the channel here. I'd buy it probably only on a higher high, right? Because I'm not quite sure whether this channel is right or not. So as I said, don't draw random channels, right? So moving on to the next example is Kriti Nutrients. This is a beautiful example of a perfect channel for investing. Now here, if you see first touch point, second touch point and third touch point, and now we are breaking out from a very long consolidation. Now this stock since 2018 has been going sideways, and now we are breaking out, right? So we're breaking out of 2018 highs, and we're also breaking out this highs, right? Also, this channel has been acting very good with the middle channel as well. Multiple reversals here, here, here. So overall, a beautiful channel for investing. Kriti Nutrients, I posted this few weeks back probably, and the stock is already doing well, right? KSEL is another example of a nice channel. Now you see here, this first point, the price went all the way up and the stock has been going sideways. The price reversed from the channel middle, went up, it went all the way down, went up, came down again, reversed exactly, went up, again came down, again it's reversing. I posted this again last week and the stock is already up. So again, it's a very, very interesting technique, at least for investing. If you want to catch value picks, multi-baggers, then these are the points you have to really buy, right? So these are the examples of rising channels. Now I want to show you some falling channels. Might help you in daily charts, especially when there's a short-term consolidation. You might want to buy the breakout, right? Now falling channel is exactly opposite. Now this is my company share. I'm not revealing the company name, but you have to draw the channel by starting from the upper side, right? You have to start drawing from upper side and drag it all the way down. And now once you connect this point, we have to see if the price is reversing from the channel middle, right? Now if it reverses multiple times, it's a perfect channel, right? Sometimes you might have just one touch point. No, that's not a valid channel. Now here we had two touch points over here, and that's why I call it a valid channel, right? Now this is a falling channel. The next example is the DXY itself, which is a combination of currencies here. Again, a beautiful channel here. You start drawing it from here, you drag it all the way down, and then you reverse it this time. You drag it here this time, this side, and then you have 1, 2, 3, and you have one big zone, and here you have another 2, 3 touch points. That's a beautiful channel. On the middle channel here, again, you see price went up, took support, went up, took support, went up, and then it broke down, resistance, 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 and then it went up and took support again. That's a beautiful channel, right? Now this is DXY, right? So it's very interesting to see that patterns follow are everywhere in markets, right? So also channels, but some channels are not really perfect. Like for example, this one. Now here I posted this just on Saturday. If you see this side, we have 3 touch points, but this side we just have the 3rd touch point right now. Now, sometimes you might go wrong here. So that's why I said it's not a very perfect channel, but you might get this right. Now, if it never touches this again, then it's a right channel, right? Now here, the interesting thing for me is the price took support here, then it took resistance over here, it took again support over here, then it came down, broke, it took resistance, came again, took resistance. Now, that's why for me this is a valid channel, right? Now you might say this might be a wrong point here, but for me, because it reversed so many times from the middle channel, now this low end probably is also right now, and the price is reversing very strongly this week, so which means this is a very good channel, right? So this is really good. Now here you cannot draw from here to here because you don't know yet, but here if I see, when you start drawing this channel, you start from this side because you see multiple touch points, and then you drag it this side and see at which point it's connecting, right? You can also do this side, I don't have a problem, but sometimes you might be struggling to draw it. So always start when you see multiple touch points, start from that side where you see multiple touch points, right? And this is Maithan Alloys again. Now again, not a very perfect channel because here if you see there's a spike outside, and here if you see we have a big gap over here, right? But again, if this price never tests to test this side, then it's probably a good channel. But for me, the important point is the price reversed from the middle channel. Again, it reversed here, then here again it reversed, right? That's why I think this is a perfect channel, right? So you always have to use that middle channel as kind of a validation tool so that you see you're drawing the right channel. Now this is a head, again a nice channel here, reversed here, it took support, went up, came, broke the channel, took resistance, came down, and then it went all the way up, came down, reversed, took resistance. After the COVID crash, it took resistance over here, it came back all the way up. I posted this chart exactly around this point over here. Again, if you want to learn channels, do follow me on Twitter. There are a lot of charts I post, right? So there's also a slight variation of a channel. It's not a perfect channel. Now, if you connect these points of Heidelberg cement, and if you drag, you will not connect this point. So what I did is, you connect these points with a separate trend line, and then you take another trend line and draw over here. Now that's a perfect touch points, right? Now this is a very good investment pick because it's most likely that this stock will not break the channel and it will probably head higher towards levels of 400 levels. The price right now is around 187. I'm expecting this to head towards around 400 levels here, which is the upper end in the next 3 to 5 years or so, right? So that's the technique how to draw channels. I know it's slightly confusing, but what you should do is start practicing. Go through my charts on Twitter. I have a lot of channels on my charts and I trade channels quite a lot. So do refer to the examples on Twitter and do DM me on Twitter. If you have questions, I'll answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to leave you here. Take care, stay safe and trade safe. Until I see you in another video. Bye-bye.